Hello everyone and welcome. This is Dawn. I'm so glad you could join me. I'm back with another cute Halloween card. Today I'm sharing how I used pattern paper and an embossing folder to make my background. I'm using the Whimsy stamps, so Witchy stamp set. This stamp set comes with 3 stamps and 5 sentiments. And I'm going to pair it up with the Whimsy Stamps Vintage Halloween paper pack. This pack is totally awesome. It has tons of different designs and I just love that it comes with a huge variety of patterns. So let's get started. I'm going to be using this paper right over here and I'm just going to set it aside for later. The first thing I'm going to do is stamp my image out on a piece of white cardstock. I'm going to stamp it in the middle of the paper because I'm going to use a rectangle die to cut it out. And I want to make sure I leave enough room. I'm using a black Copic friendly ink since I'll be using my Copic markers to color the image in. I'm going to use the third biggest Wonky stitch rectangle to die cut around the image. I just center it where I want it to go and then I tape it in place so it doesn't move all around. And then I cut the pattern paper down to 4 1/4 inches wide by 2 1/4 inches high, and I have a top folding A2 size card. Then I'm just going to tear the pattern paper towards me so that it leaves a white tear line across the top of the pattern paper. I'm going to use the Whimsy Stamps Slimline Bats Galore embossing folder, and I'm going to emboss a piece of white cardstock. So what I'm going to do is just take a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch cardstock, and I'm going to stick it in the embossing folder where the width is only 4 1/4 inches wide. I was going to do it lengthwise with the 5 1/2 inch width, but I only need the top half of the paper embossed, so the 4 1/4 was the perfect size. For my sandwich, I'm going to put the cutting plate down and then the embossing folder and then another cutting plate on top, and then I'm going to run it through my die cut machine. I'm using my Gemini Junior today, and just look at how nice the paper embossed. Oh my gosh, I think it came out beautiful. Now I'm just going to adhere the pattern paper onto the bottom of the embossed cardstock, and then I'm just going to set it aside for later. And I'm going to do some quick Copic coloring. I don't really do anything special for my coloring, so I'm just going to kind of whip through the coloring and just basically give you the colors I used and where I used them on the image. For the witch's face and hands, I used some YG13 for all around the edges, and then I bring in some YG03 to just blend it all together. For the trim on the witch's hat, I use some YR07, and I also use it for every other line on the witch's arms and her tights. I use some C7 to color the rest of the squares on the witch's arms and her tights, and I color in her shoes, her dress, and also her hat with some C7, and then I blend it all together with some C5. For the cat, I use some C5 and then I blend it all together with some C3, and I add a little R11 to the inside of its ears. For her hair, I use some V06 and then I blend it all together with some V04. Now I'm going to start to assemble my card. I adhere the card front to my card base. I take the sentiment Hey Witch from the So Witchy stamp set, and I'm going to stamp it above the witch's hat with some black ink. I use my Misty stamping tool because I don't want to mess up at this point, because that would really stink, and I've done that before. Now I'm just going to put some foam tape on the back of the rectangle because I want my image to be raised up to give the card dimension, and I just adhere it to the middle of the card. And to finish off the card, I'm going to use this awesome confetti I have from THISCALLSFORCONFETTI. I'm using the matte black today. I just put some randomly on the card, and then I use my jewel picker and some liquid glue to adhere them to the card. And that's basically going to complete my card for today. This card was really quick and easy to make, and it has lots of dimension with the embossed top half and then with the raised image. I hope you enjoyed this card. I would love for you to leave a comment below and let me know what you think of the card. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any upcoming videos and new product releases. As always, thanks for stopping by and have yourself a wonderful day.